Hello, everyone. Good morning to you all, or good evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. My name is Samuel Marty. I will be the master of ceremonies for today's presentation, and I hope that we get to answer a lot of your questions or a lot of insight that you might gain from this. Today, we're with a handful of professionals within the Cando network, and I'm very excited to see what today brings us. Kind of to start off what National Links to Learning is, in partnership with Procurement Assistance Canada and others, the National Links of Learning virtual seems to deliver a dynamic technical training forum for the First Nations economic development officers and land managers to enhance their abilities to undertake successful lands and economic development ventures. With the focus on knowledge sharing and skills and enhancement, economic development practitioners at a community level, this weekly 1 hour virtual series will deliver a variety of workshops led by Cando staff and special guests. This event is open to land managers, economic development officers, including elected portfolio holders from each nation, and is sure to offer a great opportunity for dialogue and networking. Some of the topics we may expect to come will be a showcase within the BC region next week, April 30th, along with the SETI presentation and procurement. A little bit of housekeeping for those of you with us today is using the raise hand function when wanting to speak or ask a question. Please use that and we'll be sure to address it quickly. Grab some water if you haven't already got yourself, and just get comfy and excited to learn. Also grab a notepad in case you would like to take some notes. There will also be a $100 gift card draw for doing the evaluation, which will be sent out after the session. I'd like to encourage everyone to do their evaluation as you're very valuable, and we look forward to reviewing them all. With that, I would like to welcome our guest speakers. First off, Fearence Francis. Fearence Francis is an Indigenous leader from Regina focused on advancing Indigenous governments, education, and community development. He began in the electrical trade before pursuing studies in Indigenous education and business at FNU University, where he served as the Student Association President and Ambassador. Fearence has contributed to Regina's Indigenous framework and represented youth at the 2024 Cando Summit. Passionate about mentorship and sport, he coaches at the Tony Cody Games. He aims to lead in Indigenous governance using his experience to support self-determination and lasting community projects. Next up, Tara Brown. Tara Brown is a Plains Cree from Little Pine First Nations in Saskatchewan. She now lives in Edmonton. She holds a diploma in business administration and human resource management, and is also an entrepreneur with a photo booth business. As a special projects coordinator, she supports national conferences, workshops, and initiatives for economic development officers and lands professionals, collaborating with Indigenous government networks. Next up, we have Jessica Vivier. Jessica from Saddle Lake First Nations she's from Saddle Lake First Nation and raised in Edmonton, Alberta, is a special projects assistant at Cando. She holds an accounting technician certificate and a business administrative diploma from Northwest College. Her passion for nonprofits began during her studies, inspired by community support and collaboration. Jessica is married to Terry Swallow from Pictou First Landing First Nations and is a proud mother of 4 children. And without further ado, we will be
No.
excited to hear what they have to say today. And I hand it off to you. Call Fearence.
Hi. So we're just gonna introduce ourselves. My name is, well, I guess we just heard our bios, but I'm Tara Brown. I'm the Special Projects Coordinator with Cando. Jessica.
Hi everyone, my name is Jessica Vivier and I'm the Special Project Assistant at Cando.
Hi, everybody. My name is Fearence, and I am currently the National Student Director for Cando.
Oh, sorry. So I'll just introduce you to Cando. So Cando stands for Council of the Advancement of Native Development Officers. Cando is a federal registered nonprofit society that is indigenous controlled, community-based, and membership-driven. Cando is directed by national, regional represented volunteer board members of elected EDOs representing every region in Canada. What we do is we build capacity for First Nations EDOs in economic development through conferences, webinars, and accredited training, etc. Cando recognizes Indigenous youth are one of the greatest assets Indigenous communities have today. And we will be speaking currently on the Cando and youth initiatives that we offer for youth to participate and learn about ECDEV. So I will start off with the Economic Development Youth Summit. It is designed for First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and non-Indigenous from across Canada with the age group of 18 to 30. The summit will promote the field of community economic development and the role of economic development officers to youth. Delegates will explore careers as EDOs by working on case studies in small groups on activities related to community economic development. Each group can design and present economic development initiative. Each presentation is judged on innovation, feasibility, and sustainability. Participants are required to consider the social and economic and environmental impacts of their projects, risk mitigation and resource management, and environmental stewardship. Although the process will be abbreviated, it will provide delegates with a hands-on overview of the work that a EDO actually does. So each year we get up to 200 plus applications, but we only select 50 delegates to attend. They're selected by the special projects team here at Cando. There is a screening process, so we do go through every single application that comes in. What is included, we include the travel to and from the summit, and and accommodations and meals throughout the week. Applications are now open for the 2025 EDYS, which will be held in Enoch, Alberta at the River Cree Resort and Casino. Yes, applications are now open. You can apply online at www.edo.ca under the Youth tab. And last year, our summit was held at the Tsuut'ina Nation at the Great Eagle Resort and Casino. So here's a couple pictures of the activities that we have done. The first picture was our community tour. We took the delegates to the Tsuut'ina Seven Chief Sportsplex, where we toured the facility. We also played games such as basketball, volleyball. We even had them do a tug war. And then we went off to the Tsuut'ina Museum, where they learned about the history. And also we were able to do some shopping at their gift shop there. The second picture is a group activity icebreaker. So on our first day of the summit, we like to have an icebreaker with the delegates so they can get to know one another and get more comfortable and familiar with each other, and they can connect. And the third picture is a a picture of our executive director, Ray Wanach, giving him a welcome to all those that come from far. They come from all across Canada, far north, far east. Yes, and next video is our video from last year's summit, and I'll just play it. I hope everybody will be able to hear it, and hopefully it goes smoothly.
I don't think there's any sound, Tara. Or maybe that's the idea.
Sorry, you can't hear it? I'll try again. Let me know if it makes a difference. I can even exit out this view.
I don't know if it's just I'm not receiving any audio.
Indigenous economic development and how I can better support as an ally in my line of work and bring back the information that I learned here to community.
One of my favorite parts from this past week has been all the networking opportunities that we are able to have with so many amazing people, so many young minds. The power, the knowledge that's been shared and connecting within a group of people my age is very awe-inspiring, and it's very empowering and really motivating to like push forward and, you know, keep up with economic development and have ourselves established within multiple industries.
I would absolutely recommend this summit to any and all individuals. It is a judgment-free environment, and it is a very supportive, so informative. Sometimes it can be a little bit information overload, but you know, that's just what it has to offer. It's a lot of learning experiences and opportunities that come with Cando.
My key takeaway is that Indigenous people are here to stay and prosper. Being in this space and being on Tsuut'ina First Nation and having the opportunity to see firsthand what Indigenous economic development is realistically is so powerful for me. It kind of expands my knowledge and hope that this is a real possibility in other regions.
The key takeaway is that you're going to be walking away with something from Cando, whether that be the first place prize money or friendships that last a lifetime or networks that last a lifetime. You're going to be walking away with a win and a smile. Come to Cando. This is where you're going to do all your learning and your experiencing.
All right, yeah, so that was our video from last year's summit. It was really fun. It went really well. And the applications are now open if you would like to share with your youth. So next we'll be speaking on scholarships. So Cando is in partnership with CIBC. They have developed the CIBC NIEEF Scholarship Fund administered by Inspire. To provide financial assistance through bursaries and scholarships to Indigenous students studying in the fields of business and economic development. This year's recipients were from throughout Canada. We gave away two $10,000 scholarship, 5,000 and one 4,000. Cando is proud to many scholarship recipients and that have gone to work in the business and economic development field. We actually have two former recipients that have served on the Cando board of directors. So Cando NIEEF scholarships. So again, CIBC and NIEEF scholarship program. So Cando has partnered with CIBC and Inspire to provide 44,000 a year for 4 years to 8 eligible Indigenous post-secondary students studying the field of business, community development, or economic development. Annually, NIEEF scholarships annually provide 6 awards of 3,000 to eligible Indigenous post-secondary students studying in the field of business, community development, and economic development. NIEEF is a National Indigenous Economic Education Fund, Canada's charity dedicated to Indigenous education, and applications are open, and the deadline is September 30th of each year. Here is last year's NIEEF scholarship recipients. We have Frankie Abel, Leslie Kirkness, Devin George, Aaron MacArthur, Rihanna Daniels, and Kiana Ribbonley. And they're all throughout Canada, also British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to Jessica. She'll be speaking on our Indigenous Coaching Initiative with Kendal Netmaker.
Hey everyone, it's Jessica Vivier, and I'll be speaking on Indigenous coaching with Kendal Netmaker. Since joining last month, I've had the pleasure in being part of these sessions. Not only have they been moving, but they've been spiritually uplifting. Every time I'm done watching them, I take away a lot of knowledge. Honestly, I would highly recommend them to my friends and family and the people that are viewing this that are ages 17 to 35 years old. Cando started Indigenous coaching back in 2021 with Cohort 1 and is now currently on its 14th series, which includes 8 sessions that run this month on Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Ontario Mountain Standard Time. The first topic that is covered is the Ultimate Resiliency Forum, which covers the ability to recover from things that might be holding one back. The second topic is Speak Like a Leader training, which covers communication and building trust within yourself to achieve confidence. The third topic is goal setting and peak performance, which covers things like objectives, aligning efforts, enhanced motivation. The fourth topic is the power of personal brand, which covers how one can build trust, become credible, and the ability to create new opportunities. The fifth topic is Indigenous leadership, which includes a guest speaker. This month, it's Cameron Alexis from Alexis Nakota Soy Nation. The second topic is Indigenous entrepreneurship, which will include a guest speaker named Carlin Kingfisher from Sturgeon Lake First Nation. And the seventh is Indigenous economic development and prosperity, which also includes a guest speaker named Wayne Fiddler from Frog Lake. The 8th session ends with mental health and wellness, which covers achieving and maintaining the state of well-being covered by Kendal Netmaker. Next, I will be showing you a video from none other than Kendal himself.
To join the Indigenous coaching program presented by myself and Cando. We're going to cover an array of topics from resilience, leadership, entrepreneurship, mental health and wellness, and so much more. We're going to have 8 sessions together. And if there's one thing that I could share with you over the past 13 years of being at entrepreneurship, it's the value of investing in yourself, the value of investing in your mind. What goes into your mind comes out in physical form. You would not be surprised on how many people reach out and ask for that guidance, but they don't make time to come to sessions like this. We've worked with over 100 entrepreneurs, leaders to date over the past 2 years of this program. Many of them have become great leaders, entrepreneurs, leaders in their communities, for their families, and so on. And we're giving that invitation to you to come and join us for free. It's a free application. There should be a link on this page. apply, and hopefully we'll see you on the next cohort and be one of our future leaders, future entrepreneurs for your family, your community, and for the ones that you're meant to serve in the future. Hope to see you soon. Hello.
The Indigenous Coaching Program presented by Kendal, Netmaker, and Cando will continue the empowerment work and driven force established by Cando Youth Connect and Economic Development Youth Summit. The Indigenous Coaching Program will focus on Indigenous youth engagement and coaching. Through the delivery of several ongoing youth initiatives, Cando has learned that engaging with youth will not only impact them personally, but will also create credible, positive changes in the community. Youth will be motivated, encouraged, supported, coached to consider the impact of economic development and entrepreneurial mindset on their careers and communities. They will be shown the steps in researching business opportunities and the support available to assist them in starting or growing a business. The online Indigenous coaching program with Kendal Netmaker is designed for First Nation, Métis, Inuit youth across Canada. At Cando, we pride ourselves on inspiring the youth and getting them involved in the next big steps. If you're interested in attending the Indigenous Coaching Cohort 15, it will start up again in August 2025. You can apply online at edo.ca, click the Youth tab. Next, we have Fearence, one of the National Student Directors, who will speak on his story, his current role with Cando, and his experience in Cando Youth Initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. So a little bit more about my journey. My journey with Cando began with a leap of faith and a lot of curiosity. I was first introduced to the organization through the Economic Development Youth Summit, where I was selected to attend as a delegate last summer. That opportunity became a defining moment in my life. Being surrounded by Indigenous youth leaders from across the country, all passionate about creating real, sustainable change in their communities, was nothing short of inspiring. The experience wasn't just about attending workshops or listening to panels. It was about seeing in real time what Indigenous-led economic development could look like when driven by the energy and vision of youth. It opened my eyes to a world of possibilities and grounded me in the belief that economic growth and cultural revitalization can go hand in hand with each other. It was through EDYS that I realized this space was where I belong and amongst other Indigenous youth leaders across the country. Shortly after that summit, I was invited to return as a participant in the Youth Connect workshop during Canada's National Conference in AGM last fall. That event allowed me to contribute my voice to a meaningful discussion about the role of youth in shaping the future of Indigenous economic development. It was the first time I felt my perspective as a young Indigenous professional wasn't just acknowledged, it was welcome, celebrated, and uplifted. And that's what Cando does. It makes space for youth to grow and lead. A little bit more about my evolving role with Cando is, as my relationship with Cando deepened, I was honored to be invited to the Economic Development Youth Summit Planning Committee. Now, I have the privilege of helping design and execute this powerful national initiative. What once inspired me is now something I help build for others. I also now serve as one of the peer mentors to the next generation of youth delegates, which is one of the most meaningful parts of my role. Mentorship to me is more than just guidance. It's about passing knowledge, sharing space, and showing others they belong in these conversations just as much as anyone. These experiences, along with the incredible mentors and peers I met along the way, encouraged me to step into a broader leadership role. With their support, I ran for Cando's National Student Director position and was humbled to be elected. It's a responsibility I carry with deep pride and purpose. Since stepping into this role, I've been involved in expanding youth engagement efforts across Cando's youth programming. One highlight was presenting the findings from our Youth Connect workshop alongside my peer Michael Marty during Cando's virtual Links to Learning Forum. Later, we shared our presentation again at the National Links to Learning Forum, this time joined by another one of our peers, Julie Thibodeau. These are more than speaking opportunities. They were platforms for us to showcase Indigenous youth's powerful insights, ideas, and ambitions. These roles my youth peers took alongside me reaffirmed the importance of ensuring youth are not just included in economic development work, but we're leading it. So today, I continue to support Cando's mission through my role on the planning committee for this year's national conference and annual general meeting. Working alongside seasoned professionals and emerging leaders is a privilege to ensure that the youth voice remains strong and visible in national conversations around Indigenous economic development. Throughout my journey, from being a first-time participant to shaping various initiatives, I've come to understand that the strength of our nation lie in the the strength of our nations lie in our youth. Every single opportunity I've had with Cando has reminded me that our youth are ready. We are capable, creative, and grounded in our cultures. We're not waiting for the future. We're already building it. As we look ahead, it's clear that our path forward will be shaped by collaboration, innovation, and respect for our traditional ways of knowing and being. My commitment is to continue doing this work, not just as a student or a leader, but as a lifelong advocate for Indigenous youth empowerment. As I reflect on my time with Cando and the journey I've taken, I'm filled with gratitude for the mentors who believed in me, the youth who inspire me daily, and the organization that gave me a space to grow into leadership. Cando has not only been Cando has not only shaped my professional aspirations, but has helped me understand the kind of leader I want to be: grounded, collaborative, and committed to community. So next, we'll take a look into the Youth Connect. So the Youth Connect is another one of Cando's initiatives that is continually evolving for Indigenous youth and allies across Turtle Island to come together, learn, and lead. Youth Connect is designed to create a safe, empowering space for discussions around economic development, land and resource management, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Each session features inspiring speakers and thought leaders who are actively making change within their community. For example, we recently hosted a session on economic development projects in First Nation communities featuring Nicholas Labucan, who shared practical strategies and lessons from the front lines of Indigenous entrepreneurship. Our most recent session was Creating Space for Indigenous Creators, featuring Kyron Potts, who offered valuable insights on the importance of storytelling, digital presence, and reclaiming cultural space in today's social media. The Youth Connect is an invitation for Indigenous youth to step into their power, claim space, and be a part of a future which is more equitable. I'm honored to host these sessions and help create a platform where youth feel seen, supported, and inspired. These conversations that we have in these Youth Connect give me hope, and they remind me why this work matters so deeply. And I'll pass it off to Tara.
Thank you, Fearence. And I just wanted to say that with our youth initiatives, we give a lot of opportunity to the youth that come to like our EDYS, that are coming to participating in any of our youth initiatives. We give, for example, our MC today, Samuel. He was actually one of our delegates at the EDYS, and he is now emceeing our webinars. We employed, I believe, 3 delegates from last year as well with Cando. So there's a lot of opportunity for the delegates with Cando. So I just wanted to say follow our Cando socials for initiative updates, and yes, and apply to whatever catches your eye. I mean, everything is pretty well free. We don't charge anybody. And yeah, so thank you for sitting in our presentation today. Does anybody have any questions?
I see we have a few in the crowd, but maybe I can start off a little bit to give an idea as to the questions you might answer. One thing I'd like to ask you, Tara, is in terms of partnership and collaboration with Cando, how do you ensure that projects within Cando continue to support community-driven. Hold on, let me rephrase this. How do you ensure that projects Cando supports remain culturally driven and community-driven and culturally relevant?
Can you elaborate more in the question?
Yeah, so I suppose after coming into exploration with Cando and like maybe like with SETI or EDYS, how would you help support the entrepreneurs or the youth that become involved with these projects? You kind of spoke a little bit, like I myself might be an example for me. How might we continue to support these community-driven projects?
I mean, like when we bring in, for example, I'll use you as again for an example. When we bring in these delegates from all over the place, I mean, it's not to like pick and choose or anything, but there are just some that stand out to us, and we say how they present themselves and how they, how's the work done. And we would like to, I guess, support them that way. I know that they're growing in different aspects of their life, and yeah, again, we do support our youth here. I don't know if I answered your question correctly, but
Perfect.
yeah, okay. I wanted to again come back to you, Samuel. You were also a delegate in the past EDYS. Do you want to go ahead and share your experience and I guess your connection with Cando?
Yeah, I can share a bit there. Within my experiences within Cando, I've had several programmings that Cando has to offer. And we were actually both attended the EDYS for the first of last year, and it was a transformative experience. It not only empowered me in a professional level, but on a personal level. It helped me create bonds that I believe will last a lifetime. It helped me for the different possibilities and opportunities around the nation through these personal bonds, and also allowing me myself within this space, such as an MC or within the planning committee or coming back as a peer mentor. It's really encouraging. It makes me feel very welcomed as a youth within the organization. So my time with Cando has been nothing short of excellent. I would 100% recommend it to anybody who's interested. Exciting to have the EDYS coming up very shortly. I know there's going to be quite a bit of applications, but I implore everyone to apply. Give it your best, and if not there's a lot of opportunities within the next sessions. I've actually personally joined in on them myself and have gained a lot of insight along with network building there. So it's really it helps transcend towards the different opportunities within this space. That's kind of my sense within Cando.
Awesome. Thank you, Samuel, for sharing that. Was there any other questions from anybody? Any comments, any input?
I hope I'm not taking up time, but I would like to ask Fearence a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So you spoke a lot of how youth involvement is important and how we're helping bring this next, the developing the nations within Canada. One question would be, what role do you believe youth play in shaping the future of Indigenous economic development?
Honestly, it's through the initiatives like Cando, giving them the opportunity to grow into leaders, shaping economic development on their nations. So I think it's more or less just education when it comes to that right now. Each youth can take education very far, especially applying it to their everyday life, especially when they come home and be a leader. Their role is promising, but it's also making sure that they're heard, making sure that we have the ability and we have the education to eventually come back to our nations and apply that.
Perfect. I'd like to extend the questions out to those of the participants that are in today's call. If you have any questions or maybe comments, it's more than welcome. If not, I will ask Jessica a question towards the Indigenous coaching sessions. What advice would you give to other Indigenous professionals considering a coaching program like Kendal Netmakers?
I'd have to say, I think for us ourselves, we need to kind of start networking the youth that are involved. So some of them are entrepreneurs themselves, have their own businesses. So kind of grouping it all together so people can connect with them so that they're they're out there and people can start using them or buying their products and getting to know them. I think that'd be a great resource for them to get a foot in the door too.
Perfect. Thank you for that.
I wanted to share something regarding Indigenous coaching. So yeah, I am basically behind the scenes and making sure everything goes well and whatever. But I also myself learned from Kendall. I mean, I've been sitting in this is probably maybe the third, fourth, or fifth cohort I've been sitting in, and every time like I learn something new. Even if the same sessions, he's always sharing something new, and I've been applying his advice, his recommendations to myself and my small business. Um, I can say my business started because of Kendall. I got so inspired and to just go for it. I mean, I had this idea for a while, and I kept talking about it and thinking about it, and as more and more I sat with Kendall, that I just went for it, and it's going actually really well. Um, Even till this day, we had a session with him maybe just last Tuesday or Thursday. Um, he gave more advice, and I am going to apply it. I haven't got to that chance yet, but he did mention something. But yeah, I say that these sessions with Kendall are very, very, very inspiring and very motivating. And I would definitely recommend to any youth out there to attend his sessions. I mean, he mentions that people always ask him for coffees and this and that, but um, they some of them just don't when there's free sessions available, I guess with Cando, to actually sit in a session with Kendall and getting all this advice from him. Uh, but yeah, like I think Indigenous coaching is a great program. I know I'm behind the scenes, but also, I have my other life outside work, and I work on stuff there. But yeah, I just wanted to share that.
I have one last big question for you, Tara. In terms of your personal connection and the future vision within Cando, where do you see Cando hitting in the next 5 to 10 years? What part do you hope to play in that growth? It's a big one.
um Maybe, well, I guess if you're maybe like director position. I am in the special projects with Cando, so I do organize and get programs together, and I want them to get bigger and better. So that's kind of where I'm aiming, is bigger and better for our little group for the youth.
Perfect. I think one more question. I'll give you both everyone one more question before we run time here. But for Fearence, one thing I might ask you for about EDYS, as you were quite prominent there, and a little side note, Fearence actually and his team placed within the case study, which was exciting. Congratulations to him. What stood out to you the most during your time at the summit? Any key lessons or memorable moments?
I think throughout the whole summit, while you're there with other peers amongst Canada, they all come together in that place. It's a lot of networking, a lot of seeing other youth leaders across the country. I think that was very uplifting and empowering to know that there's others out there doing it just like you. And then not only that, but being able to network and honestly having those lifetime friendships that you make with some of them, knowing that there's other young professionals out there, and then bouncing off knowledge that that you both share. And I think just having that opportunity to be with other youth that are like-minded like you, but also while growing during the summit too, growing in the realm of economic development. I honestly, I think the whole thing was the most memorable to me. And not only that, but the panelists. I never thought I would get so much out of like the panels, but I did. I took home a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. I always bring it back to when I first told my mother that I was going. I went there knowing nothing about economic development, and she was like, "Oh wow, you're going to the realm and all that stuff," and then come back and here she becomes a counselor on my home community, and then I tell her about all these different things happening across Canada and stuff like that, and then she was awed with that, and then yeah, just about how I can hopefully one day apply what I learned, to my nation, or however I hold that wisdom, whether that be through knowledge sharing, stuff like that. So I took a lot from the summit, and I really, it's just really going to go full circle for me when I go back as a peer mentor, and I am looking forward to it.
Thank you for that. If no further questions, I think we got one last one from Tara.
I just wanted to mention quickly that an upcoming initiative that I will be working on would be a youth council. It's in the works right now, but I will put it out there when it's ready to put out there. But I just wanted to share that just so in case somebody is interested, yeah, I just wanted to put that out there.
Perfect. Some more exciting news. Well, with that said, I think we can come to a close to today's virtual forum. It's been a pleasure listening in on you professionals. I am excited to see the work that comes from all these programmings that come up, the conferences, Awakening Flame and other Indigenous youth, and giving more opportunity to the First Nations youth as well. Thank you all for your presentations today. They were very informative. I surely enjoyed it. I'd like to thank everyone else who takes the time, and you as I can't see your full name, but thank you for attending today. I look forward to the next virtual forums, and I hope you all have a wonderful day and took in a lot of information as you could. With that said, I think we're good to go. If there's any closing remarks, last questions, now would be the time.
Just
All right.
from Tracy in the chat box.
Yes, Tracy had mentioned she thanks you for sharing your stories and your experiences. And thank you for joining us today, Tracy.
All right.
Well, wonderful day, everyone. And I look forward to eventually meeting some of you. Take care.